Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to use GitHub Copilot custom prompts. Specifically, I'll walk you through a real example where I ask Copilot to list and format files from a project repository. Let's start by looking at the project itself. On my screen, you can see a folder called Archive. Inside this folder, I saved a series of markdown files that capture GitHub Copilot chat logs. I'll scroll to the list so you can see how they're organized. Notice many file names start with numbers, like 01 underscore project initialization .md or 29 debug playwright test chat log md. Now let me open one of the logs so you can see what's inside. In this example, the agent is helping me build a plan to build a software application. Based on information contained in other documents, the agent has defined a series of tasks to accomplish the build. In this other log, this is a log where the agent is implementing two of the tasks that were defined earlier. You can see a summary of the interaction between me and the agent. First, task 001 is accomplished, implementing that task. And then I ask it to implement task T002. And this is the interactions between the agent and I building that, accomplishing that task. And it ends with the agent summarizing everything that it has done. I've saved these chat logs so I can review them, capture lessons learned so that I can improve in the way I interact with the agent. As you can see, there are many chat log files. So how can I efficiently review these? This is where a custom prompt comes into play. Now let's get to the custom prompt I created for GitHub Copilot. To make custom prompts, GitHub recommends putting them in the directory .github prompts. So let's go to there. So .github .prompts. So this is the directory with inside the Visual Studio Code where you should put your custom prompts. Each custom prompt is stored as a markdown file, and the file name should end with the suffix .promptmd. So for this example, I created a file called getallchatlogs.prompt.md. Inside the file, I wrote the following custom prompt. First, I say list all files in the folder archive and show all files that start with a 2-digit number. Then I say from the list of files, prefix the file names with this URL, which gives it access to the raw content on my personal GitHub repo. Finally, I say show only the URLs in sorted order, one per line. All right, so again, what this does is threefold things. It looks inside the archive folder, pulls out only those files with names beginning with 2 digits. It then formats each of the file names. It prefixes it with a GitHub raw URL. And then finally, it outputs only the URLs in sorted order, one per line. By storing the prompt this way, I can reuse it anytime in Copilot Chat without having to re-enter it every time. Now let's actually run this custom prompt. To do that, I'll open GitHub Copilot Chat in Visual Studio Code agent mode. So we'll open up Copilot Chat, and then I want it to be in agent mode. And for this, I can use the GPT 4.1 LLM. Once I have that set up, then I'll type in slash. And what you can see here are these are all predefined prompts. And what you can see is the one that I talked about, get all chat logs, is available. And it's in the workspace prompt file. So I'll select it. And then let the agent do its thing. As you can see, it read the archive file, and now it's generating a list of all the files and pre-appending to it the URL required to get to the raw content. Now that the list is generated, let me show you what I can do with the list. Now here where it gets interesting. Once Copilot gives me the list of URLs, I can take the next step. For this, what I do is I create a text file. I just need it as a temporary kind of staging area. So I'll just say temp.text. And then what I do is I copy the response from GitHub Copilot and I paste it into the text file. Okay, here I have all the URLs in a text file. So now comes the interesting part, or the fun part. I start ChatGPT, and then what I can do is, for example, I can take one of the files. Let's take this one. We'll just copy this URL, and in Copilot Chat, I can paste it in the URL, and then ask summarize content. And here it now read the file from the raw content from GitHub, and it summarizes what happened. And it does, and it accurately describes that it defines 69 tasks. It's structured in several phases and such. All right, so that's good. Now let's try something a little bit more complicated. Let's copy all of the URLs. So we'll do that. We'll go back to ChatGPT. We'll just paste all the files, and what it does now is it reads each of the files and produces a summarization of what was contained in each of the files. So now I have a good high-level summary of what's transpired in each of the file chats. And as I showed you earlier, if I wanted more details, I can go back to that particular URL. For example, this last one. Let's do this last one. Let's just get that. Paste that into the prompt. Another one. Say summarize content. And again, it reads the chat log, identifies what was going on. So now I get a sense of what it did, and then again, this gives me an opportunity to study it and go back and pick out lessons learned. This combination of Copilot and ChatGPT makes it really easy to explore the whole directory of logs without opening every file by hand. So that's the demo. Starting with a GitHub Copilot custom prompt saved in .github/prompts, running it in Copilot Agent mode with GPT-4.1, and then extending the workflow into ChatGPT for summarization. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials on Copilot, ChatGPT projects, and AI-assisted workflows. Thank you for watching. See you next time.